Hey guys, so let's talk about last night's episode of the following. Right off the bat, let's talk about Ryan, right? Because you guys know week after week how much I complain about him and Max and their like secret investigation because I just want him to call for help because I feel like if he did that, we could have caught these people long ago. But Ryan is not listening to me. And the thing I got this week finally is that Ryan is on the edge. You know, like I knew that a little bit, but this episode, it was just so clearly evident that he is not thinking straight at all. He is so obsessed with finding Joe Carroll and with killing Joe Carroll that it's kind of like he doesn't care what gets in his way. So there was a scene towards the beginning where Max and he actually catch Giselle, the girl that was on the train in the last episode. They've got this woman chained up to a bed in some motel room and they're trying to interrogate her. And you get that Max feels like they're playing the whole good cop, bad cop role. And even though it seems like Max thinks that Ryan's pretending to be bad cop, we get that he really is bad cop, that this is not a far stretch for him. I mean, he started to choke this woman at one point, and I just thought he's gonna kill her because he's crazy. In my Q&A video that I did last week, somebody asked me about Ryan and Joe Carroll, about which one of them was more obsessed with the other. And I thought it was such a good question because I feel like in this episode, I think Ryan actually starts to realize how much he's crossing the line and how much he is becoming like Joe Carroll as he's killing people himself. I mean, before this episode is over, he kills one of the African French guys. And then he kills Giselle. And he might not have strapped them down to a table and turned on the classical music like Joe Carroll would, but, you know, they're still dead. Speaking of Joe, you guys, right? So he and Emma are really trying to get a feel for what it is that Lily Gray and her little family wants. We get that Lily is super jealous of Emma, or just really feels like Emma is in the way. So at one point she sends Mark off to kind of distract Emma so that she and Joe can be alone. And they have this whole dinner. I mean, it's all like this big seduction play. So after dinner, she takes him down in the basement where she's basically created this like torture room for him. I mean, it was just the strangest kind of like, hey, I got you a gift. It's a torture room. So there's all these like creepy instruments in the room. There's a desk where he can sit and write about his torture, I guess, once he's done. And then she reveals that she's got this poor college girl who's drugged up and chained up in a cage off in the corner of the room, just ready for Joe to do his thing. At first, he was just kind of like, who do you think you are? Like, you can't control me. And she says something to him seductively like, I wouldn't want you if I could, or something crazy like that. I just feel like we've only seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Lily Gray as far as what she wants. You know, I do think she wants him, like, to be the father of the family, blah, 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 and to be her partner. But I think there is so much more to that story that we haven't seen yet. By the end of the episode, Joe kind of gives in. We see him go into the torture room. And then the next thing you know, there's blood everywhere. This poor child is dead. And then we see him and Lily Gray kind of consummate their new relationship. But he's got like blood on his hands, right? So when he comes in the room, he's like rubbing blood on her neck. And I mean, it was just kind of like crazy gross. And definitely my favorite part of that season 2 has been the twins, have been Luke and Mark, you guys, because those two are just off their rockers, right? And it's like we get these moments from them where they seem so normal and just kind of like brothers. And then it's like the craziness sneaks up on you and you remember, oh my gosh, yeah, these two are psychotic. So my favorite moment in this episode is when we see Mark trying to distract Emma. He takes her to his mother's art studio and kind of locks them in without Emma realizing it. But, you know, they're having a good time and she's like drawing a picture of him. And you're thinking things are kind of moving along with the two of them because we get that Mark likes her. So at one point, you know, they're getting kind of close, right? And he touches her face or something like that, right? And I mean, they're in close proximity and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna kiss. And then she reaches out to touch him or to kiss him and he loses it and starts freaking out. I mean, like he says to her something like, did I say you could touch me? And then you get that he doesn't like people touching him. You guys, I was sitting there like, what the heck? I was not expecting it at all. So I think he called it agoraphobia is what it is, but he obviously has the most severe case ever where he was just like yelling at her like, I'm allowed to touch you, but you can't touch me. You have to ask for permission to touch me. As he kept like rubbing his skin, like getting the germs off or something. It was so crazy. It was kind of creepy too because eventually we do flash back to the two of them and he's back to sitting in the chair while she draws a picture of him. And the whole time she's drawing, right, you see her drawing drawing the body first. Like, she hasn't drawn his face yet. But when she finishes, you realize that she's actually drawn Joe Carroll's face. Because, of course, that's all she can see. Because Emma is, like, seriously drunk in love with this man. Yeah, you guys, I thought it was a really good episode. I mean, there was just some crazy, crazy moments. But that's what I expect from this show week after week, really. Next week, it actually looks like Ryan is finally going to ask for some help from Mike. Thank goodness. And I get Ryan's hesitation to accept help from the government because he feels like they might have been infiltrated. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, can you call the police or somebody? Like, not everybody is in on it. Okay, you guys, that is it from me this week. I will see you again soon. Bye.